If you've ever felt like maybe it was too late to pursue a dream or to start over in your life, you're going to want to keep watching today's show because we are going to be diving into how to release some of those fears and really embrace. Okay, well, we tried to play that video, but we're just gonna pretend that it played anyway because we're here. So welcome.
Mhm.
Welcome to the Fab Show. I am your host today, Gloria Grace Rand, and we are delighted that you are joining us wherever you are, whenever you are. If you're watching us live or on demand on the E360 TV network, and I'm going to go around the room right now and have our guests introduce themselves. So, to the lovely woman on the top row in the middle there, Imogene, you want to tell us introduce yourself and where you are in the world right now?
Hi everyone, I'm Imogene Drakes. I'm here in Vermont, and it's lovely weather here, lovely sunshine. The temperature is 75 degrees. Wonderful.
Lovely, lovely. All right. And then next to you, we've got Laurie.
Hi, everybody. My name is Laurie Jacobson, and I am in Locust Grove, Virginia.
All right. Awesome. And then Tracy, how about you?
Hi, I'm Tracy Searight, and I'm in El Paso, Texas, the Sun City.
All right. And Dixon, last but not least.
Hey, everybody. My name is Brian Dixon. I just go by my last name for people I want to get to know really well. So looking forward to being on the show. Live in Colorado and currently sitting in Vancouver, Washington.
All right, awesome. I think we've got the United States covered pretty well, and I'm in Melbourne, Florida, in case you're wondering. And let us know in the comments where you are right now. I'd love to know where you are. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to kick this right off with one of our guest videos because it sets the tone for exactly what we're going to be talking about today.
Hey everybody, it's Dixon from Colorado. Just wanted to share my excitement about being on the Let's Talk Fabulous show, especially the theme of reclaiming dreams in midlife. You know, I was one of those guys that coming out of college who wanted to be a writer and an adventurer. And instead, I ended up doing everything but that, and all in the name of kind of providership and, you know, family, career, all those things. But none of it was really in alignment with who I was deep down. And I let that slip for a long time. And I had a medical scare in 2014 that finally woke me up. And I decided to chase down a dream to fly a paraglider off a mountain in Colorado. And boy, after 2 years of training, I finally pulled it off. It was a lifelong dream, and it's changed everything for me. And all my work now revolves around getting back in the game of life, especially at this age. I'm 56. So excited to talk more about this. We'll see you on the show.
All right, I'm going to put you over here in the spotlight, Dixon, so you can talk to us a little bit more about, I don't know if you want to go into maybe even detail about what prompted that, because you mentioned that you had a medical scare that prompted you to go back to, reclaiming this dream of yours.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, by the way. And certainly love the theme of this show, which is reclaiming dreams in midlife. My goodness, I feel like my whole life is reclaiming my life at this age. And yeah, to your point, I had a medical scare that came out of nowhere in 2014. But prior to that, I was pretty much asleep in my life. You know, I made some wrong turns in terms of like the things that I wanted to do, be a writer and maybe find the right relationships. I ended up going down some rabbit holes against my gut, you know, that voice that we all have inside. And that sent me down living a life of, you know, someone else, expectations, you know, everybody's familiar with that. But I was a guy that just kind of stuffed a sock in it and did what everyone told me to do. And 2014 came along out of the blue. I had a mountain bike crash, and I'm a very active guy. I'm a snowboarder and paraglider and such, but I went to the ER and got sewn up, and that was all fine. And I've done that a lot. But 3 months later, I had a pulmonary embolism show up. And I was rushed to the hospital, passed out, and I didn't know what was going on, but it had all been a blood clot that had been growing for 3 months. You know, just one of those out of the blue life things. Unfortunately, it seems like a lot of us need something like that to wake up in life. And I'm out to change that. I hope that, you know, people can make changes without having somebody die or some scary event happen, to learn about how precious this life is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Anybody else relate to that? I don't know if you've had that, or maybe you've known even somebody else who's had something like that happen to them. Tracy, you look like you're nodding your head there. What's your thoughts?
Well, my experience came not to something that happened to me, but a death of my sister that really changed my entire outlook. And her life was very much led by doing what other people wanted her to do. She put everyone else first. And then when she passed, and going into her home and just seeing all the unfinished dreams, all the unfinished things that she didn't get to accomplish. She didn't get married. She didn't have the kids that she wanted. And that really was that wake up call. I mean, I was kind of raised to be that wife and to go to college and get married and have kids. And I too was asleep at the wheel until that event happened that really changed the whole trajectory of my life.
Yeah. I think that is something that does happen to a lot of us, and we put those dreams on our shelf, but it's never too late. You know, I think that's the one of the points of the show, is that it's never too late to start to do that again. Dixon, one other thing I wanted to ask you though is, like, when you started doing the paragliding, did you ever have any, like, second thoughts while you were doing it, starting, have those, doubts come in, like, okay, I'm doing this at my age, should I really be doing this? Or were you just like, I'm going to go for it?
Well, that's an interesting concept, because my paragliding dream had started before I got married and had kids, and before I went down the road of becoming doing work that wasn't anything to do with writing. And then that all went to sleep kind of when I became a provider, right? I shut all that down because I was going to have kids and get married. And so for 25 years, that dream went to sleep. And when I decided and met someone out of the blue that said they could help me revisit that 25 years later, I decided to do something for once, which is go all in, and use 100%. I call it hold my beer energy, which is what my book is about. If you remember in college, hold my beer energy was like, hey man, something weird's going to happen. Somebody's going to do a triple somersault off a rooftop right now. But what it really means is you go all in, you don't think about it, and you give 1,000% energy to your decision. And that's what I did when I decided to, hey, I'm going to learn to fly off this mountain that I had dreamed about 25 years ago and started training for. And that was the thing that changed my life, was directing all my energy, and I call it non-negotiable energy. And from doing that, it's really led to so many other great things in my life where I apply that same energy, where I'm like, I'm not like thinking I'm going to work out today. I'm committed, like there's a difference between intention and commitment. And that 1,000% energy is that, commitment that gets things done. So that's what got me through 2 years of training and then finally launching the mountain.
I love that. Well, we're gonna continue on, and I'm gonna share another one of our panelist videos today, and keep this going.
I'm Imogene Drakes. After a career in science, I decided to stop saying someday and start saying no. Last year, I traveled solo around the world for 42 days, visiting ancient sites like Machu Picchu and Egypt, while exploring some of humanity's biggest questions. Along the way, I rediscovered my childhood curiosity and turned that journey into a book. My age may have increased, but my sense of adventure certainly has not. And I'm excited to join you and share what I learned.
This so impressed me, Imogene. I mean, so I'd love for you to share a little bit about, traveling alone around the world, by yourself as a woman, and as not as a 20-year-old, but a mature woman, shall we say? I don't know if you want to say how old you were when you did this, but did you have any concerns about that? I mean, how did you prepare for doing some kind of trip like that?
Well, I didn't prepare much. I think life has prepared me because so many times I've had to do things that I'm the first to do it. For instance, I was the first forensic toxicologist in Guyana. And I did that job as well as I could. And then after a while, I found I had to raise my sons on my own. So doing things that are a bit unexpected are things I have been doing. And I didn't prepare a lot, I can tell you that. For years, I wanted to write a book on religion, mythology, and science. If they were looked at together, would they tell the same story if you really put them side by side? Mm-hmm. I started writing the book. And then one day I was sitting in church and I heard Psalm 82, where God is saying, you are gods. And if you don't do right, I'm going to turn you into mortals. I said, what? Yep. So I said, you know what? I've always wanted to go and see the world and see these different sites because, all these old stories, some of them sound so familiar. And so I got myself together in July. And by the end of August, I was out the door.
Wow.
I planned by sitting down and going through different itineraries and helping AirTrek to help me plan the international flights. But I spent a lot of time looking at the culture, looking at how to travel from place to place safely. And once I thought I had that done, I decided I'll go for it and started buying tickets. So that is how my journey started.
Wow, that's amazing. So what was the biggest lesson you got out of that trip?
Definitely listen to the locals. I left here with a set mind. I had in mind seeing the Galapagos Islands because as part of the work I'm doing, especially for science has a lot to do with evolution. And I wanted to take a look at the site where Darwin was when he thought of all these thoughts about how beings came to be, the species, adaptive radiation. And so I chose the Galapagos. And going there, I went with a mindset of looking at the finches because somewhere along the line, the finches stuck in my mind from high school. But when I got there, the locals said, what about the tortoises? I didn't really want to look at the tortoises because my mind was set on finches. The day was almost done before someone said, do you know that tortoises are some of the species that Darwin looked at when he thought of evolution and adaptive radiation? Wow, I said, I didn't remember that. It was so long ago I did high school and the day was almost ended. So after that, every place I went to after that particular event, I made sure I listened to the locals and then just go with a preset mindset.
I love that. That's a great lesson. Anybody else want to comment on what Imogene did? Yeah, Laurie, go ahead.
Well, I just love what she said about retaining your childhood curiosity. I think that is such an important aspect of our lives as we get into midlife and even I'll call it senior life to maintain our health and our mental health and I mean of course our physical health. I mean as a certified health coach I'm always thinking we can do our best work if we try to keep ourselves healthy. But I notice as I get older, the how important it is to not lose your zest and curiosity and to be a participant. And I think Imogene just is such a personification of that. So I commend you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Dixon, you want to comment on Imogene? What's your thoughts about
Yes,
the curiosity?
boy, didn't she use some hold my beer energy to say, I'm going to travel the world right now. I'm not even going to plan it very much, which when you speak of, curiosity and wonderment, you're like, I'm just going to go. And what's even cooler is you had an idea of how it was going to go when you got there. And then you learned to look around and listen. And, that ended up expanding your experience, right? I mean, I think that's what it's all about, is you look around and you're grateful. And I'll double down on what Laurie said. I mean, to look at life through the eyes of a child, I think is the key to staying young. And that really is. And you be a student your whole life. Boy, I really commend you for that, Imogene. You learned as you were going, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Thank you, Dixon. I certainly did. And it was fun to meet different personalities too in different cultures. And I had some preset ideas too about Pakistan and Indonesia, where, they would tell you that women always have to be dressed modestly. And when I went there, not every woman was dressed like that. So that was interesting to actually experience.
Wow. Well, I think you're amazing. Well, you're all amazing. And I do think the lesson that's coming up here seems to me is that, that you can go for it. There is not necessarily a right time, and that you can be really go for it, do whatever that you want to do. And so I would love our audience to, ponder, now that you've heard these examples, do you feel unstoppable by design? And if so, what does that really mean to you?
They tried to hand me a finish line, said my best days were left behind. But I'm just warming up inside. This heart still burns, this soul still shines. I've lived, I've learned, I've lost, I've grown, built my dreams from broken stones. Every scar just shows me how strong I've always been till now. They put a number on my name, tried to tell me when to change, but I don't fit inside their rules. I was born to break them through. I'm unstoppable, watch me rise. Every season, every time. No expiration on this flame. I'm just getting better with age. I'm unstoppable, hear me say, I'm not done, I'm on my way. Every chapter still unwinds. I'm unstoppable by design. Every line upon my face tells a story full of grace. Every year just adds a spark, lighting up my wild, brave heart. I got wisdom in my walk, got my truth in how I talk. I don't shrink to fit the past. I was made to outgrow that. They say time is closing in, but I feel it opening. Every door that I step through leads me closer to what's true. I'm unstoppable, watch me rise. Every season, every time. No expiration on this flame. I'm just getting better with age. I'm unstoppable, hear me say, I'm not done, I'm on my way. Every chapter still unwinds. I'm unstoppable by design.
Tracy, what do you think about that unstoppable by design? What does that mean to you?
Well, it means that no matter where you are in life, that if you have the calling, you have the desire, by all means, move forward with what your dreams are. I had too many people from when I was a child telling me other things to do when I finally had enough courage and confidence to decide what I want to do. And, you're going to have people make comments, you're going to have people make judgments. Just do what's best for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else want to comment about the song? What do you feel from that, Laurie or Dixon?
Well, it was beautiful music. I was just getting into because I like to sing, and I was like really listening to that. But the lyrics too was very inspiring, and I just hope that people realize that we all have that potential within us. It's just we have to tap into that and sort of push aside all of the chatter and the noise and the comments and the judgments and just listen to our hearts and listen to the small voice that's telling us, and that may have been telling us for years and years and years, hey, like I love the word that Tracy used, like, this is my calling, like something is telling me that I need to pursue this. And we have to be courageous. We have to be fearless sometimes, because fear holds us back so much. And I always just try to tell people, don't be afraid to just take a little step out of your comfort zone. And you might, that first step is sometimes all it takes to keep moving forward.
Absolutely. And I think with that, we're going to go ahead and listen to your video right now.
Okay. It's never too late to realize a dream. I finally realized one of my biggest dreams last year around the time of my 65th birthday, and it was a dream that had been plaguing me for 20 plus years. Now, whether you're in midlife or later life, if there's something you've always dreamed of doing, something deep inside you that you feel you must experience or accomplish before you leave this earth, don't give up on yourself, no matter your age. Keep that goal forefront in your mind. If you put out the effort, know that the reward will come. Now, when it comes to the timing of your dreams becoming reality, I don't believe that's always up to us. I do believe, however, that if we choose to slow down, pay attention, listen inward, be kind, compassionate, and patient, life, including our dreams, will unfold and reveal itself in its own time.
Okay, so I'm curious, and I'm sure everybody else who's been watching this is like, okay, well, what was this dream that you had? I hope you can share, because that was a big tease there.
Oh, well, I always enjoyed writing, and I kept so many journals when I was starting in high school, and I'd written a few little stories and things, but I always had this dream of writing a book. I don't know why. It was just something telling me I had to do this, and I had a couple of fits and starts. I actually have 2 manuscripts up in the loft that were my first couple attempts that were okay, but didn't really make the grade, in my opinion. And then something happened in my life that was so transformative that I knew I had to write this story. And I started writing it, like I said, like 20 years ago.
Okay.
And, life happens, and there was, a death in the family. I put it on the shelf, and I got so tired of telling people I am writing a book instead of saying I have written a book. So something just clicked a few years ago, and I took the manuscript out of the closet. It was about 2/3 of the way through a second draft. And I just became determined to finish it because, I mean, not because really I wanted to realize this dream, but I wanted this story out in the world. Like that was my motivating factor. I needed to share this story. And then what was really fantastic was the writing just sort of took on a life of its own. Like it just pulled me along, and I really couldn't do much else except draft after draft after draft, and finally was able to publish it last year. So that was a dream I had for many, many, many years, that came in its own time, when it was supposed to come for me, because I realized that if I had finished that 20 years ago, it would be a completely different book. So I had that perspective of being able to really look back with, I won't call it wisdom, but let's say older eyes, and to see the big picture of what I wanted to share with people. And so I can die happy now because that was like a big one for me.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned wisdom, because that was one thing I wanted to actually put out there to all of you. Have you found, how has maybe the wisdom and life experience you've gained really, has it made pursuing your dream easier as opposed to harder? Tracy, you're nodding your head. What do you want to say?
Oh, absolutely. I think especially with yoga, I had a situation that came up a few months ago where someone came to my class, and I was so grateful for all the training and all the books that I read and just my life experience, that I could be of service to them to help them be more comfortable in their experience. And so I look at it as an absolute gift to be wise and to have wisdom to be gained through your experiences, so that I could help be better of service. So I absolutely think that wisdom, it's a gift.
Imogene, you looked like you wanted to add in there.
Yes, I want to talk a bit about what Laurie mentioned about courage. That is so important for us to give ourselves the ability to move and not to be held back by fear. You know, one of the things I found on my journey is that when you make that commitment, it's like the universe works with you. Things come out of the woodworks, actually, and people come and help you, and you're actually able to achieve your dreams no matter what stands in the way. For example, I went to Japan. I was hoping to see the Yonaguni Monument, which is on the water by a glass bottom boat. But there was a typhoon at the same time, and I couldn't get to go out on the boat to see it. But I went to a store to get something for breakfast. And while I was there, I saw a book by the person who actually went to the monument. So I asked the lady, you know, I really would like to buy this book. Do you know anything more about the Yonaguni Monument? She said, oh, the guy who did this is right here on the island right now. I said, really? So I went to see him, and I got beautiful pictures that I couldn't get from a glass bottom boat.
I love that.
Courage is so important when we really want to do what we envision ourselves doing. It's always important to take that very first step. And the universe actually, I think, gets in step with you at some point.
I totally agree with that. That is so important to realize that if you set out on the path and you put the right intentions out there and have like really no expectations about achieving anything, the universe does help you out. And that was such a theme in my story that I wrote, because things just, it's the serendipity. Things can just fall into place if you are following your heart and following your path and being authentic. And I just want to add to, you know, I'm glad Imogene picked up on the courage part, but also, and what she did on her journey is to be open, to be completely open to what is in front of you, or else you might miss that universe's little guidance. So, and she, you know, she was open on her journey to find out about the tortoises. And, you know, sometimes people just have their blinders on and miss a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't want to miss something that's been showing up here. I've been seeing a lot of purple hearts, and we have a wonderful community, and there's especially one lovely lady who is near and dear to our hearts, and we want to be able to, we've been honoring her, and now we get to, without really revealing who she was, but now we're going to be honoring her and the rest of our community as well. So I want to play this video right now for the Purple Pen Hearts Club. So yes, Helene and all of the wonderful community, especially those who are no longer with us in physically, but are still with us in spirit. We do remember all of you, and I want to change the energy up just a smidgen right now, because we've been talking about going for it and wanting what you want, and knowing that you can have the Let's Talk Fabulous show whenever you want, as a matter of fact, because we are on demand.
Did you know that you can watch the Let's Talk Fabulous show anytime you want?
Come here. Listen. We are on demand.
That means inspiration, original music, connection, and powerful conversations whenever you need it most.
We are on demand.
We are proud to be a part of the E360 TV network. You can find us on the internet or on the app through your favorite app store. We stream on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and many of the others.
We are on demand.
Find us in the pop culture and entertainment area or on the Fresh Takes channel.
We're on demand.
Of course, you can always join us live every Sunday at noon Pacific, 3 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern, where we connect with you in real time. It's time. Let's talk.
All right. Yes. So please remember, you can watch us whenever, and so we are on demand. And I want to bring us back now a little bit, because I want to talk about, we talked about courage, we talked about wisdom, and I'm also wondering if any of you found that you had to maybe release something or forgive yourself, possibly, in order to pursue this dream.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, I had some big lessons on forgiveness. And actually, that's one of the themes in my book it was so powerful and transformative for me. Not only did I learn how to forgive myself on a retreat at a Buddhist monastery. I also came to forgive my mother for some of the things that she has said to me in the past. And I'm still coming real close to forgiving an abusive ex-husband. I can't, I'm trying real hard, but that's a tough one. But, forgiveness is so powerful and it's so freeing, such a freeing thing. It didn't happen until like my mid 40s, but boy, did I learn, and forgiveness and having that self-compassion, it sort of goes along with it. Another theme that was in my story is, if you start with self-compassion and feel compassionate towards yourself and towards, and compassion towards others, I think forgiveness will naturally follow.
Yeah. How about you, Dixon? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'll tell you, as a guy, maybe not as much forgiveness, but for guys, it's permission. And I learned as a professional people pleaser for 25 years to finally give up that need to please others in order to fulfill something from my childhood. And I was brought up military, Catholic, and Midwest values. So I was meant to serve. And at some point I took that and I just went over the wall with it. I became an overserver where I didn't have to. In fact, that became my identity. Instead of keeping my own dreams for myself, I got my own passions watered down by serving and overserving the provider, the dad, 3 kids, the wife, all of the white picket fence values that we as men are taught to be the guy on the white horse and save the world. If you don't guard your own dreams, then there comes a point where we all get spit out in midlife and we don't know who we are. And the reason is we got watered down by that fire that we had. Like in my case, it was to be an adventure rider and launch a paraglider off mountains and go live a thrilling life. And instead, I should have kept those dreams inside of the providership piece when I'm the dad or I'm bringing home the bacon, but I didn't. And it's not easy when you're, raising kids and doing all that. We're meant to give, and we learn to not be selfish when we raise kids and we give to our spouse. But my piece is I went way to the other side of that, to where my own self wasn't even recognizable anymore. So my piece of forgiveness was permission. I give myself permission to dream again. I give myself, this is the tipping point that Laurie just talked about when she said, Laurie, it was interesting because you said 2 things. You said, it all develops in its own time, but then you also said, there came a time when I pulled the manuscript out and I was all in. And this is the interesting part that my work revolves around. Where do you get to the point where you go all in and you decide that you're worth it and you decide that your dreams matter before it's too late? By the way, when you're 50 or 60 years old, you better figure this stuff out, or you may end up like Tracy. You're talking about your sister and some of the unmanifested dreams that didn't come around. That really touched me, by the way, because I didn't know. I almost was going to die 10 years ago from some accident that happened, but you never know what's going to happen. And at some point, you got to give up the pleasing and start the living. What do they say in the Shawshank Redemption? I guess it just comes down to this. You either get busy living or get busy dying, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think that the overall theme, though, that we've been hearing from each one of you, and we're gonna get to Tracy's story in a little bit as well, is that you are all, I think all of us really, we are all stronger than whatever comes our way because we survived. And so I want you to listen to this message and see if it resonates.
When the ground starts moving under me and the walls begin to shake. I don't freeze in the falling, I don't fracture at the break. I've learned how to bend with the pressure, I've learned how to hold my ground. Every change that tries to test me only makes me stronger now. Let it move, let it turn. Every fall is a chance to learn. Feel the ground beneath your feet. This is where your strength will meet. When it shifts, I don't quit. When it cracks, I commit. Every break clears the way for something stronger to stay. I don't run, I don't drift. I stand firm in the lift. Every storm that hits, I'm stronger than the shift. I've seen seasons rearrange me. I've watched old foundations fall, but I built from what is left. I don't lose myself at all. There is fire in resilience. There is power in the climb. Every ending writes a future that was waiting for its time. Let it move, let it turn. Every fall is a chance to learn. Feel the ground beneath your feet. This is where your strength will meet. I don't bend, don't break. Every shift is mine to take. When it shifts, I don't quit. When it cracks, I commit. Every break clears the way for something stronger to stay. I don't run, I don't drift. I stand firm in the lift. Every storm that hits, I'm stronger than the shift. Stronger now. Every time it hits, I'm stronger than the shift.
Yeah, so I hope if you're watching the show today that you realize that you are stronger than the shift, because there's always something going on in our lives, whether it's something happening personally to us, whether it's medical, whether it's something happening, wildfires and earthquakes or whatever it is. There's always something happening, but as long as you are alive and can pick up one foot after another, you're stronger than the shift. So I can't believe we're getting near the end of the show here, and I still have a very important video that I want to share, is the last one with our guest today. So I want to share Tracy's, and then we're going to talk with her about her story.
Hi, I'm Tracy Searight, and according to my birth certificate, society would say I'm running late, but I believe I'm just on time. All of my experiences, even the challenges of my life, have prepared me for my purpose today. So all of these things beautifully have come together to help me be of service and to live my dreams. Lewis Carroll, the book, The Alice in Wonderland, the character of the White Rabbit, always running late. I'm late for a very important date. And many literary scholars believe that is the kind of symbol for anxiety and stress, checklists and schedules and looking at all others. But it's really important to know that you have a purpose, that to stay positive, to know that your time is now, to not look at the clock, to not look at the watch. Those are man-made things, that you have a higher purpose. So stay positive, keep going, and you'll find that your blessings are just in time.
Okay. So talk to us a little bit more about this, especially about how do we stay positive? Because I know sometimes, like I said, the world sometimes makes you kind of doubt yourself that, that you can really keep going. So what do you say?
Well, I say that, we just have to move forward with what we have and find humor in everything that we do. So when I came into this world, I was a surprise to my parents, and I heard one negative thing after another. And life has given me every single reason to be negative, but I choose kindness every time. I remember as a child, Mr. Rogers, so I'm originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and how he talked about the helpers and the good people. And I just knew that when I grew up, I just wanted to be kind. And so that's how I lived my life. And I had many challenges through many different things. And through that, I tried to smile. I tried to find the happiness, but not being naive in a way, but moving forward. And when I went to college, I wanted to be a teacher. I just had this heart of a teacher and a heart of service. And one of the most powerful things that I was told in my very first teaching class was stop and redirect. And that was advice for teaching in the classroom. And I have found that this has been instrumental in my life, that when things are not going in a positive way or in a right way, you can always have the option to stop and redirect. And that's kind of how I move forward in life, knowing that, hey, I guess I need to move in a different way. I need to try this way. And I always look at the teachable moments, that what can I learn from this? What is this teaching me? And I've gotten a little more comical over the years, thinking, you know what, God, I'm going to learn this right now because I do not want to repeat this again.
Oh yeah, I do love those little life lessons that we learn that we don't always enjoy, but it's like, okay, let me see how I can not make this mistake again. And yeah, it's so much fun. Imogene, what are your thoughts about Tracy's idea here about about staying positive?
I think it's really good to do that. I particularly was interested in what she said about, being late or being right on time. And I was thinking that just a few days ago, I wrote a little piece because I remembered what had happened to me some years ago. I had just separated and I went into work about 3 days late. And when I got there, I found flowers on my keyboard. And the person who brought those flowers for me, they were actually dried flowers, said they were there since 3 days before. That was right when I had separated. So what I thought about this particular instance is that God is actually always there looking out for us. And those flowers were there. They were waiting for me. They were right on time. If I'd come in to work exactly on Monday, they would have been there. I came in there on Thursday and they were still there. So they were just the right type of flowers for me. So I'm thinking about what she says. No one expected her to be here, but you are here. And you're right on time for whatever you have to do. And so we're so grateful for what you shared with us today, that, we always want to be very respectful of our time and make sure that when we are here, we make the best use of it. We're right on time for what we want to do.
Absolutely. And I think that's also the other lesson here is that, we're talking about reclaiming dreams in midlife, but you can reclaim a dream anytime. I mean, I remember, just for me, when I first started college, I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but then life happened, as things do. And I wound up going, no, I don't want to go in that direction. So I chose a different direction and it turned out well. but I think that's important to know that we can redirect, at any time. It doesn't matter whether you're 20, whether you're 80, wherever. Which also leads me to I'm going to put this out to everybody here, because we only have a couple minutes. So I'm going to have you maybe just answer this last question here in, maybe just one sentence, actually just a few words. So what would you tell someone who maybe is still convinced that they're too old, they're too tired, or they're too late to pursue them? So I'm going to start with, I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Imogene. So what would you tell them just in a couple words?
I would say decide. I think deciding is the first thing to do. And once you decide, your brain actually thinks of all the things you need to do to make that dream come true. But it has to be you making that decision, first of all. And then everything comes together. Once you put your mind, you find the resources, the right people, and things happen. So I'm saying decide.
Okay. How about you, Laurie? What's your thought?
I'll pick up on that. Decide, then be fearless. Be courageous. Conquer your fear.
I love that. Dixon, how about you? What would you tell someone?
I'll combine both of those and say it's not just a decision, it's a non-negotiable decision. Commit fully, and the rest will figure itself out.
I love that. Tracy, how about you?
And I will bring all of that together, and I will remind people to give themselves grace. Let go of that negative talk. Keep positive. You are on the right path. If you feel that call to do it, you have every reason to move forward with that.
I love that. Yeah, it's. I think that is so right, and I really do. I would love to hear from those of you. If you're just watching this now, or you came in late, go back in and watch the beginning of this, because there were lots of good nuggets of wisdom that our guests shared with us today. And I think the important thing, is wisdom and courage, and knowing that, too late. No, you're right on time. You can, and even if it doesn't seem right on time, just start that first step. Make that first step. I think, Laura, you had mentioned that even if it's scary, just making that first step is that start. That once you get over that, then I'm sure then you can start to build momentum. And I'm sure running down the mountain, probably you had that, you had a lot of momentum going, Dixon, probably once you had that paraglider
we call
on,
it
right?
a fully committed launch, Gloria. You are running off of a cliff, and you better know what you're doing, and you better be fully committed, right?
Absolutely. I love that. So I thank all of you for participating today. Thank all of our wonderful panelists. I thank all of you for watching and being with us. And I hope you'll turn in next week, because Barbara J. Beckley, one of our other Fab 5 hosts, is going to be here, and she is going to be sharing habits that create inner peace. And I know we can all use more inner peace. So until then, go out and have a fabulous week, and we'll see you next time.